What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stack Sats Show. What's up? Do you even DCA to BTC, bro? Let's go. Man, right? Today, we're going to talk about what it takes to buy Bitcoin like Michael Saylor. Okay? I'm not talking about the amount of Bitcoin he's buying. I'm talking about the conviction he has where he buys regardless of the price. He buys because he understands. Okay? We're going to talk about that in the Why We Stack segment of the show. So let's, pretty bright. So let's get into it. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Carlos Aramillo. What up, Carlos? Good to see you, sir. Turn down the brightness a little bit on this stream. Yeah. There you go. That's funny. I like your comment. It was a good comment. Good comment. Okay, so welcome. Let's get into the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Strength. Today, the price of Bitcoin is $66,336.73. Woo! We're back, baby. We're back. We're back up, all the way up. Today, you can only buy 1,508 Satoshis, 507 Satoshis for a single dollar. Just last week, we're buying about 16,000 Satoshis for a single dollar. Now it's only 15,007 Satoshis. It's crazy. What is a Satoshi, by the way? A Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. Just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, a Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis. So if you can accumulate 100 million Satoshis, you in essence have a whole Bitcoin. Okay? That's important to highlight that in every episode because it reminds us that when we see the price of Bitcoin, to not get scared, to not think we're priced out. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin at $66,000. You can buy fractions of that Bitcoin and work your way to gradually, hopefully, accumulate one whole Bitcoin. All right, let's say you're walking down the street minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have 15 Satoshis for a single penny. See? It's cheap, guys. It's cheap. It's still cheap. Even with Bitcoin at 66,000, Bitcoin is still cheap. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Paul. What up, Paul? All right. That is the Sat Strength. Or what's it called? Yeah. Sat Strength. That is the Sat Strength. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to jump into the next segment of the show that we like to call Why We Stack. And in this version of Why We Stack, in this segment, we're going to talk about what it takes to buy Bitcoin like Michael Saylor. You guys noticed that MicroStrategies buys Bitcoin when it's high, when it's low. They don't care, right? Because they understand, or Michael Saylor understands, that it's not about trying to time the market. It's about being in Bitcoin. It's about time in Bitcoin, not trying to time Bitcoin, right? They understand that the way things are going, people like to say, man, that guy's got some big nuts stacking Bitcoin so hard and buying that much Bitcoin, right? But if you think about it, like, it's actually the opposite, right? Yeah, it takes courage to be the first one to do it, but when you understand what's happening, it doesn't take courage to do it because you know you're losing value the longer you hold that cash, right? So it becomes a no-brainer, right? But normal people that don't understand Bitcoin, I value the paper money more than anything else because we've been programmed and we've worked our whole lives for this paper money, and we envision that paper money as the ideal of the representation of value, right? So That's why you get those funny videos where they say like, oh, would you rather have a Bitcoin or $1,000? And people are like, I'll take the $1,000, right? Because they have that ingrained. We live in the matrix, right? And when you live in the matrix tells you what's valuable, right? And everybody's been living in the economic matrix. We all believe that the paper money is real, and that's why we work so hard for it. That's why we save in it, right? But once we start to understand that paper money is the mechanism that keeps us poor, right? It's the way for the people that print that money to keep us working to our dying day, right? To extend our retirement out further and further out, right? To make it to where we can't own things, so we can't save up enough value to buy the things we want or the things we need to just have a happy life, right? To be able to retire at a young enough age to actually enjoy your retirement years because you're still able to move around and do things, right? Well, once you understand that, how inflation works, how the money works, and how it's flawed and set up to work against you, then when you look at Bitcoin, you're all in. It's easy to stack as hard as you can. It's easy to become a saver, because once you understand it, you become convicted. You become aware of that value increasing in purchasing power, and so it becomes easy to save like a Saylor, to save like a Michael Saylor, right? Where it doesn't matter what the price is, because you're not thinking about saving it today so you can spend it tomorrow, right? You're thinking about saving it today for the foreseeable future, right? Maybe even for your descendants, right? So that's what it takes. It takes the saver, it takes the individual the time to educate themselves on how the money system works and how Bitcoin and how it's set up to steal from you, and then how Bitcoin fixes that. And once you understand that, it's easy at that point for you also to save as hard or to stack as hard as Saylor does. Maybe not in those same numbers, right? Maybe not in the thousands of Bitcoins per purchase or hundreds or even tens of Bitcoins per purchase, right? But relative to your economic situation, you feel confident stacking just as hard, regardless of the price, because you understand that in the long term, the money printer of that paper money that you would have been holding is going to keep printing, so you're going to continue to get debased. So it just makes sense to save in Bitcoin instead. And so when you get to that level, that's what it takes. When you get to that level, that's what gets you to the point where you can also stack like Michael Saylor. You can stack feeling confident that your purchasing power will increase over time. And people are going to look at you and say, God, man, you're crazy. How are you all in on Bitcoin? It's a scam. It's bad for the environment. You're going to get rugged, or it's manipulated, right? And it's not even going to bother you, right? You just be like, sure, okay, whatever, right? And then down the road, a year or two down the road, maybe 3 years down the road, maybe 4 years down the road, maybe even 1 year down the road, right? Those people are going to see that you're more prosperous, and they're going to say, what are you doing? Like, same thing I tried to tell you a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Same thing I tried to tell you, right? I just took whatever money I was going to save anyway, and I decided to save it in Bitcoin instead of saving it in anything else, right? And my purchasing power grew over time. And they're going to be like, damn, I missed out. I wish I would have listened to you. And you're going to say, well, listen to me today, right? Because nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Yes, the value of Bitcoin is more than it was a couple of years ago, or a year ago, or 4 years ago, whatever. But the circumstances that drove up the price of Bitcoin relative to the paper money continue to exist, no matter who's in office, right? The people in government that are controlling the money printer are going to continue to print money for whatever purpose they feel is worthy of printing money, whether you agree with it or not, okay? And if you agree with what they're printing money to do, that's fine. And if you don't agree with it, that's fine. They don't care. They're going to print anyway, right? So what can you do? Stack sats, saving Bitcoin, and everything gets easier that way. J-Dub in the house. Also, Andrew in the house. What up? Round of applause from the live studio audience for J-Dub and Andrew. Welcome, guys. So that is how that is how to stack like Michael Saylor, is to get so orange pilled and educated on how Bitcoin works and how it solves all these issues that you'll feel confident in the purchases you're doing, just like we do here every day, every Monday through Friday on the show. All right. So hope that link bait got you guys. If you're new to the show, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and smack the like on your way in. Let's get into the next segment of the show that we like to call the Stack Recap. Because we don't only talk about stacking sats here Monday through Friday, we actually do it. We've been doing it since 5/22/2023. That's Bitcoin Pizza Day. Yeah, Bitcoin Pizza Day. And we started stacking $5 a day back when Bitcoin was $27,360. That's crazy. It's over a year and 6 months ago. Okay. But look at that. That one purchase that we did that day for $5 is now worth $11.96, right? See, look, that doubled. Look at all those green. That's right, Andrew. Let's look through all the green. Look at that. Dang, that's awesome. Our lowest purchase ever in the history of this show was on 6/14/23. We bought at $25,151 Bitcoin. We bought $25, guys. You know why I bought $25? Because I was like, oh man, it's a dip. I'm gonna buy a little extra. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what you would have bought at 25K Bitcoin? You look at that $25 where I thought I was going all out and more than doubling our buy. Our normal buy was I think it was a $5 or $10 at that point, maybe $10, and we quadrupled it or quintupled it and bought $25 worth of Bitcoin that day. Right, those $25 is now worth $66. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's nuts, right? But let's continue the green journey. Look at that. Well, the orange journey into the green numbers. Jeez. Oh, that's a lot of green. Look at that one. When we did our 100th show of the Stack Stats show, we bought a $1,000 buy, $1,009, and that $1,000 buy is now worth $1,867. What? Oh my gosh! Look at that 200. What was that? 200 subscribers or 200th episode? I forget. Anyway, that buy is also like significantly grown. And man, look at all that green. Oh, wait. We bought these are 67,000, 72,000. So there's still some red in here, right? But definitely more green than red now, right? The reason I'm showing you these buys right now, to stay with the topic of the show, with the theme of the show, of this episode, is that I bought a little bit more when the price was locally down, but no matter what the price was, I still bought the minimum of $20. See? So we're still buying $20, and just continue to buy no matter the price. Regardless of the price, we still kept buying. Look at that. Dang. That's crazy. That's a lot of buys. Ooh, 365. Why did we buy 365? I wonder what that was about. I can't remember. I should put notes over here. $365. I can't remember why we buy that. Why we bought that. Oh, that was recently. Oh, we bought this to get to 0.3 Bitcoin. Yeah, 0.3 Bitcoin. That was that last purchase. So that purchase is already paying off. Look at that. We bought at 63,000, and it's now worth about 3,000. So it's now worth about $376. So we gained like $11. It's not bad. It's in the green. Yesterday's buy at 66,028. It's showing anyway. Oh yeah, the Google Sheets updated that algorithm, so now it's actually showing the price, which is good. So it's updating correctly now. Okay. All right. For the lifespan of the show, we've accumulated 0.3041926 Bitcoin. And for the year of 2024, just this year, if you would have just started following the show this year and started stacking with us from January 1st, we started stacking $20 a day. And whenever the price of Bitcoin was below our average buy price for 2024, we would buy a double stack, so $40. Sometimes when the price of Bitcoin was below our lowest purchase price of 2024, we would do a quadruple stack. That's what you see these $80 stacks are here. Sometimes if it got close enough, we just bought anyway. Okay. So our lowest purchase price for 2024, it was $39,237 Bitcoin. And today, since the price of Bitcoin is above our average buy price, we're going to buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. And look at that. We're up 16.41% for 2024. Wild, right? It's freaking wild. All right, let's look at this one too. This is what is this one? Operation Flipping Sats. Oh, man, we're in the green for all of these, for almost all of these. The gloves that I sold when Bitcoin was at $67,948, that one's still in the negative. We still lost some value there. But everything else is up. The sewing machine, the Pelican case. Yeah, that's perfect. The KitchenAid, I sold it for $250, and now it converted that money immediately into Satoshis. When the price of Bitcoin was $58,705, we got 421,857 Satoshis. And those Satoshis have appreciated and gained in purchasing power, so they're now worth $280 as opposed to $250. Okay, so this is like going back in time and renegotiating the sale of this KitchenAid. It's like going back in time, and that person that bought the KitchenAid from me, instead of paying me $250, they paid me $280 for that same KitchenAid that hasn't been taking up space in my house. That hasn't been taking up space in my house. I converted that stranded energy in the physical KitchenAid device. I converted the economic energy into Satoshis, right? Where it doesn't take up actual physical space. It doesn't take up rent, right? I have my space back, and it doesn't weigh anything, right? And nobody can steal it from me, like they could break into my house and steal my KitchenAid, right? And on top of that, my KitchenAid was losing value over time, but my Bitcoin, my Satoshis, are gaining value over time. They're gaining purchasing power. So anyway, as you guys know, thanks for bearing with me. I know I go through all these little examples because I never know when somebody new might be watching the show, but I want them to understand what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to explain the concepts that are going to make it to where you can stack like a Michael Saylor, because you start to understand that the simple act of buying Bitcoin and taking custody of that Bitcoin is going to make you wealthy over time. It's insane. That's all you have to do, right? If people are like bending over backwards. Sorry, I got to go full screen for this, guys. People are bending over backwards to figure out side hustles and start businesses of random things, and like develop real estate, and like flip houses, and like flip cars, and like all these other things. They're working extra hard for the paper money that continues to lose purchasing power, and you have to work even harder and harder to be able to afford your current lifestyle. If you're saving in paper money, if you're saving in government money and fiat money, you're going to have to continue to progressively work harder and harder and harder to generate more and more of that paper money in order to maintain your same level of lifestyle, because the money is losing purchasing power. So you need more money to buy the same things, right? And you can only be so productive, right? You can only have so many jobs, right? Once you have the 2 jobs and you're doing Uber on the side and you're still not making it, right? Maybe you and your spouse, or you and your significant other, both have 2 jobs and both do Uber on the side. That's 2 incomes. That's 2 people working 2 jobs and 2 side hustles, and you're still not making ends meet, right? Or for the amount of work you're putting in, right? It's crazy. But if you want to struggle for a little bit and put in that extra work, and take that extra money and put it into Bitcoin, then your stack will get bigger and bigger. And as your stack grows, your life will start to get a little bit easier because now your savings are actually increasing in purchasing power and working for you, working with you without having to do all this extra stuff, right? So let's just say, all right, I hear what you're saying, but I still don't believe you, right? Well, you don't have to believe me. We've actually been doing it for a year and 6 months, okay? For a year and 6 months. There it is, 47.7% in more purchasing power from the. Okay, so here we'll go by the actual numbers. We saved $9,769, and we saved it in Bitcoin. We got a bunch of Satoshis, 21 million. And so those Satoshis are currently worth $14,417, so 47% more than the money than what we spent to get them. Okay, so if we were just holding $9,769 in our bank account, right, since the beginning of the show, then that money would have lost purchasing power. But what happened instead, since we were holding that value in Bitcoin, we gained in purchasing power without doing anything else but saving in Bitcoin, nothing else. Remember, we're not getting a second job. We're not doing Uber on the side. Okay, we just took that value that we already earned, that we already had. We put it into Bitcoin, and without us doing anything extra, it gained in value 47%. Okay, it's how easy it is. Okay, now yes, now that you know what it means to save in Bitcoin, now go work a second job and an Uber on the side, right? Because now that sacrifice and all the hard work you're doing, all the extra work you're doing to get that extra side hustle money, take that extra side hustle money and put it into Bitcoin. Because when you do that, it's like we talk about all the time during the Why We Stack segment. When you do that, whatever value you set aside into Bitcoin will continue to increase in purchasing power for as long as you hold it, right? So now you have your regular job, you go do your side hustle, you do your second job or your Uber on the side. Take some of that extra value that you're generating that you don't need immediately and put it into Bitcoin. Because now instead of working an hour of Uber on the side, now you take 1 hour of Uber on the side that's going to be dedicated for the stack, right? As the price of Bitcoin goes up, and as you can see from the chart, I'm not lying, since, was it May 22nd, 2023? We bought Bitcoin at 27,160. Let's say we got $5. Let's say we got paid $5 for tip on one of our Uber delivery things. I don't know. I've never done Uber, guys. I'm just saying. I'm making it up because I've interacted enough with Uber and like whatever the delivery food delivery thing. So you do one delivery, you get a tip for $5. You put that one tip for $5 into Bitcoin instead of just spending it or wasting it somewhere else. And if you hold it for that long, for a year and a half, in this case, that one tip turned into 2 tips, right? So you got 2 tips for 2 tips, or you got a double, or you got a $10 tip instead, right? So it's just a matter of perspective. Are you willing to get paid in Bitcoin? Oh yeah, that's a great question. Round of applause from a live studio audience for Hard Huddle in the house. Yes, Hard Huddle. I just don't know how. I would just do, if I get paid in Bitcoin, it'd be cool because you could just do. You'd be saving the step of having to buy your Bitcoin, right? And whenever you need to pay cash, I guess you'd have to sell a little bit of Bitcoin to pay cash, or to pay in dollars, or whatever your local fiat is. But yeah, that'd be cool. I'll be down to get paid in Bitcoin. Okay, so anyway, that is the stack recap. I know it went a little bit off course there for a little bit, guys, so I apologize. What up, Leonard? Round of applause from a live studio audience for Leonard. Dang, it's good to see everybody in here. All right, so I'm feeling excited today, guys. It's good. It's Tuesday. You know, I love tacos and cheap tacos. The only thing better than tacos is cheap tacos. No, the only thing better than tacos is the only thing better than tacos is inexpensive tacos. Am I willing to pay in Bitcoin? No. No. Nope. My Bitcoin. What? There's a couple of football players that the signing bonus in oh, that's cool. Man, those guys are set. That's it. That's it. You don't have to play anymore. You know, when you have a big windfall of money like that, like as a professional athlete, especially in football, dude, where it could be like the height of your career. You're doing great. You're getting all the stats, and you're getting paid. You're killing it, right? And then you twist your ankle the wrong way, or somebody hits you a little bit wrong, and that's it, dude. That's it. Your career is done. You've worked your whole life to get to that position, and yeah, thankfully you got a big paycheck. But if you're holding that paycheck in cash, you're gonna get broke. You're gonna go broke, right? So, unsolicited advice or not financial advice, but like just a commentary. If you come up on a big chunk of change, just save it in Bitcoin. You know, while you're trying to figure out what to do with it. All right, what's up, Andrew? Good to see you in here. Round of applause from my live studio audience for Andrew. Okay. I got Paul already too. Yeah, I got Paul. Okay, so that is the stack recap. Oh, we're not even done with the stack recap, guys. We still gotta keep going. No, I'm sorry. We're not even done with the stack recap. Where is it? There it is. All right, let's go back to 100 days of saving in Bitcoin challenge. We are almost at break even on that. Wow. We're at minus 1.21%. We did a 100 days of saving in Bitcoin, where we saved in Bitcoin no matter what for 100 days, no skipping days. Whatever number the date was, that's how much Bitcoin you bought. So on day 11, you bought $11 worth of Bitcoin. On day 15, you bought $15 worth of Bitcoin, and so on. You can go out of order, but you have to buy one line each day. And yeah, it's crazy. You can't do multiple lines, and you can't skip a line. Sorry, you can't skip a day. You have to buy every day, so you were able to adjust however much you could save. So if one day money was tight, you'd buy like a $10 line, and if money's flush, you just got paid, and then you go for the $100 line, right? Look at that, we're buying at 69. Oh, I need to do the buy amount. I need to do the green red chart on this one. Yeah, I need to do the green red column on this one, like we have for the other ones, right here. The what's it worth? Okay. All right. And then finally, the last thing to look at is the Grom 21moto.com. My motorcycle vlog. That's awesome. It sounds funny to say that. But the 21 Moto channel is freaking growing fast. We're at 70 subscribers, guys. The 21 Moto channel is growing so fast. It's a little disheartening that this channel isn't growing that fast. But the whole point of the 21 Moto channel is to get people interested in Bitcoin by putting out content that's not necessarily Bitcoin specific. It's about motorcycles. It's about riding motorcycles around town. And so it's more it's easier for somebody to get into that it's a bigger audience that's looking for motorcycle content. But during my motorcycle content, I also talk about Bitcoin. I talk about saving in Bitcoin. And when we're saving in Bitcoin, this is what we do. This is the big play for that 21 Moto channel, is eventually I will be able to say that I paid that I was able to pay, that the motorcycle paid for itself, that this Honda Grom paid for itself. For those of you that aren't familiar with that channel, I'm going to go through the premise real quick. I'm sorry if you already heard this. Basically, my only other vehicle is my Toyota Tundra. It's a giant V8 truck. I love it. It's awesome. I can take my kayak to the beach. I could take my kids boogie boarding. We go camping. We do whatever we need. We throw everything in the back of the truck and we just go. It's a 4x4 monster truck. Okay. But for day-to-day commuting, it's a kind of a gas guzzler, right? It's like 14 to 18 miles a gallon. It's crazy. Okay. Well, the Grom, this little Honda Grom, it's like a little motorcycle. It's 125 cc's. It's a super small bike, but it does about 120, 110 miles per gallon. Sorry, miles per gallon. So we did the math somewhere along the way, and we figured that if I rode the Grom instead of driving the truck, it would save me about 21 cents per mile. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but it was pretty close to 0.21 cents or to 21 cents. So I was like, that's cool. 21 cents. That's like 21 million Bitcoin. We got to call the channel 21 Moto, and we're saving 21 cents per mile for every mile that we ride. And it links up with Bitcoin because we're going to take those 21 cents worth of savings per mile, and instead of saving it in cash, in paper money, in fiat money, we're going to buy Bitcoin at the end of each ride based on how many miles we rode. So for example, here in the chart, the first time we bought Bitcoin because of the bike, we're settling up a bunch of different little small rides, but 66 miles on the Grom, we bought $13.73 worth of Bitcoin when Bitcoin was being sold at 59,165. It's crazy. So we're in green on all of our purchases for there it is. I was doing some editing, but so we're pretty much in green for all the purchases done except for the purchase done yesterday, right? So that's awesome. So based on the 21 cents per mile, it's going to take me 27,143 miles to break even, so that the Grom in essence has paid for itself. Okay. So we've ridden it for 647 miles. And so we have 26,496 miles to go before we break even. Okay. But since we're taking that value that we're saving and putting it into Bitcoin instead of holding the cash value, it makes it to where you need less and less miles to break even because your savings per mile is going up as the price of Bitcoin goes up. Remember? Saving in Bitcoin is like going back in time and giving yourself a perpetually increasing retroactive raise. Well, it works the same thing for the savings and the mileage, right? When I save in Bitcoin, when I save the 21 cents per mile into Bitcoin, it's like going back in time and riding these 66 miles over here. And instead of saving 21 cents per mile, since I bought the Satoshis, right? And I'm still holding them, as the price of Bitcoin goes up, then it's like instead of being worth, let's see, let's figure out the math exactly right here. Okay. So we can finish this thought and before we move on. So $15.41 divided by 66 miles. Okay. So instead of the savings per mile being 21 cents per mile, now it's 23.3 cents or whatever. We'll just round it down to 23 cents. So I'm saving an additional 2 cents per mile just by saving that in Bitcoin instead of saving it in cash, right? And that's not even factoring in inflation. So long story short, as the price of Bitcoin continues to go up, we'll be able to break even on the bike in less and less miles, right? See, what is this? Almost, Almost 50 miles. Is that right? Let me do some math. Excuse me. 498. Yeah, 50 miles. Actually, exactly 50 miles. So just because we're able to save the savings just because we're able to store the savings in Bitcoin instead of saving it in dollars, we are actually 50 miles ahead of breaking even, right? We need to ride the bike for 50 miles less than if we were just saving the cash money. It's pretty wild. All right. That's enough of that. Let's get back to the main stack here for the year. Where is it? Oops. There it is. Right here. And again, we're going to do a $20 stack today because the price of Bitcoin is pretty high. It had a little bit of a dip while I was talking, so let's go buy some Bitcoin right now before it pumps again for the rest of the day. I don't know. I think it's going to go back up, forever. Here we go. So now that we know how much Bitcoin we're going to buy, $20 worth, there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some sats. Warm up the gong. Oh man, I was talking a lot there. I apologize. Let's see. Get into my phone. Open up the Strike app. Come on. Oh, that's not the Strike app. That's the Strike app. Gonna hit the buy button. We're gonna key in $20. $20 worth of Bitcoin today on the Stack Sat Show. Episode 311. Hit the next button. We're gonna cut the music. We're gonna hit the drum roll. Hit confirm. And make it rain. Make it rain Satoshis. Let's go. Bam, and just like that, we successfully accumulated $29,816 Satoshis to the stack. It's pretty good. Today, 10, 15, 24. We bought at $66,440.84 Bitcoin. We bought $20 worth. 0.00029.816 Bitcoin. It's pretty cool. Just like that. Slow and steady. The stacking continues. Go back here to the main page. Add it to the spreadsheet for the whole lifespan of the show. And let's see where we're at for the whole show. How many Bitcoin? What's our count? What's our stack? 0.3044980. Man, slow and steady. Stacking hard. It's crazy. Crazy. All right, boys. Does anybody have any questions? Put it in the chat. Anybody new here? Say hello. If you're unable to chat, all you gotta do is subscribe for 1 minute. Once you're subscribed for a minute, you'll be able to chat, ask questions, and highly encouraged, especially if you're new. We are a beginner-friendly guide, so we're happy to have new people in here learning about Bitcoin. Aaron in the house. What up, dude? Hey, Aaron in the house. Round of applause from my live studio audience for Aaron. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Come back. Bring a friend. If you need somebody orange pilled, this is the place. Okay? I'll take the time to teach them the way. I won't tell them. I'll tell them not to deal with poop coins. No Bitcoin trading. No ETFs. No NFTs. No ordinals. None of that stuff. Bitcoin only 100%. And then you take custody. You buy the Bitcoin on the exchange or wherever you're going to buy it. And you take custody into your own wallet. Preferably a hardware wallet. Hot wallet, it's okay if you're just getting started, but try to get that cold wallet set up. All right. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. Let's end the show with the traditional outro. And just like that, episode 311 of the Stack Sat Show has come to a close. I appreciate every single one of you. Andrew, thanks for tuning in. Aaron, thanks for tuning in. Welcome. I think I've seen you in here a couple times, but welcome back. Leonard in the house. Hope all is well, Leonard. Good to see you in here. Andrew Williams, thanks for tuning in. Good night, sir. Have a great sleep. Hard Huddle in the house. Thanks for tuning in. What up, Paul? Good to see you in here. Very good. And I see J-Dub in the house also. Thanks for tuning in, J-Dub. I appreciate you being here. And of course, of course, last but not least, Mr. Carlos Aramillo. Thanks for tuning in today. Round of applause from the live studios for all you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. But until then, remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Later. Bye.